We must protect the wine. Let's show you how to make a wine koozie. Coming up. Hey, Chanel here, bringing you weekly videos to help you get better and better with your fashion sewing and be more creative too. So be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on a new video. So a few weeks ago, I had a little party at my studio, and I wanted to, it was like a wine crawl downtown, and we were the host, one of the hosts of all the businesses, and I wanted to have something special for the people that came in to do the wine tasting. So I had this in my closet for my little kitchen cabinets for years. And I always remembered, like, this was so cute. I had a bunch of boas left over from my retreat, and I thought I'm going to use those boas, and I remembered this, and I thought I'm going to make some wine koozies to go with this event. And I ended up making they gave the participants the little glasses, so then I made all of these little wine koozies for the people that came in, and this is how it looks right here. And they would come in and pick out their boa colors, and we would just hot glue it around and get some rhinestones and put them on there. So they picked them out, so they got to make their own. It was really fun, and it went over really well. I'm going to do it again. We're going to host it again in October. So I thought I'd show you how to make them. It's pretty simple. You could probably figure it out. But I got to say, it took me about, this is a bag of mistakes right here. It took me a while to get that pattern to fit right on that glass. And it always depends on the glass size too. I just had these little glasses here, pop them out. These were my wine glasses from my wedding. So it says, "To less fish in the sea, Chanel and Mike." So I'm just pop them on here. And then last year, this wine crawl, they had a little bit bigger glass. So if you do that, you have to kind of measure it on there. But these are those most common size. So I have a pattern for you that I'll make available. And it took me a while to really get it nailed down. So what you need is neoprene. I got this at Joann's for, I think it was about $20 a yard, but I had a coupon for 50% off. So I got it for $10. I bought a yard. I've actually bought a yard and a half. I actually made 70 of these. So that was fun. Yeah, boy. And then what you need is a rhinestone genie kit. I just did a video about this, and I think I'll edit that and put that out first so that you have the rhinestone genie. This is about $30. You'll love it. Watch that video. Or you can probably, I mean, if you don't want to go and do that, you can actually just maybe find some rhinestone kind of kits and put them on there. Or, I mean, heck, use your imagination. You can put, you can sew some lace around it, but always have to remember the stretch, whatever it is. So it really needs to stretch onto the glass. So if you hand stitch stuff, thread doesn't stretch. So it would limit it like that. So I think you need boas, hot glue. So you just get these little skinny boas right here. I've got these for a couple dollars a piece. And then you just hot glue, and just put it on. I burnt myself pretty well right here. So yay, that was fun. If you're going to make 70 of them, you're probably going to have some injuries. Anyway, so let me show you real quick how to make these. All right, I start with about a 10 by 9 inch square, 10 inches wide, and make sure it's on the grain. I had the selvage on this at one point, and want to make sure it's, you know, even though it's a knit, it really does still need to be on the grain. I put a pin in the middle of these to hold it down, because this fabric has a mind of its own. And I put the template down right here and hold really flat, and then get a nice straight thin line. I use the wax chalks, and then use the sharp edge of these, because you don't want a fat mark, because then you actually don't get an accurate cut. And then you draw that there, and then to do multiples, I actually, first when I did them all, I had long strips, but just say you're going to do 2. I'm not sure the other one's going to fit on here, so I should do 10 by 10. You probably get 3 of them in there. And then you just draw along there. You have 2 of them, so you just bump one up. I also like to mark where the top is, right here, because when you go to put it on the glass, it starts to look, you can't tell what is right and what is the, you know, top and then the bottom. So then you just cut them out, and you got to make sure you get that curve in there really accurately, because that's kind of the trick of how that thing stays on the glass. So it's just a slight in on the top, has a little bubble right here, and then it's like that. So you want to just, I've just found when I made a whole bunch of them, the more accurate I cut it out, the better off this all was. Also, I'm going to put a little tiny notch on both sides right here, and that's going to be for the gluing, so that when I put it on the glass, I know which side goes down, because sometimes that will come off. But now I'm going to go take this and sew it on each side right here, and I have to remember what stitch I used. I have to play around with that stitch, and then I'm going to show you how I sew this. Okay, so I think the stitch I like to use is this, I think it's 15 right here, right there. And it's kind of like a zigzag but with a straight bar. You're probably wondering why I don't use the overlocker, because believe me, I tried, and or the serger, and I think cutting it, it was sliding it. It just, those little pieces just weren't handling very well. So I found I was really tried all different kinds of techniques. I'm going to hold on to that back string right here. I'm going to put it here because it's going to help it pull a little bit. So I'm just going to get it started. There we go. Really make sure it knots it. Get it started. I'm going to pull this and then help it go. I'm using white thread so that you can see it. And just sew it straight down. It takes a little bit of time to get it started. Let's reverse here. These doesn't seem to go much places. I'm actually going to go back over it. Like that. I'm going to pick it up. I use so many different machines, I never know where the buttons are. Gonna trim it here. So I'm gonna do the other side. So the seam allowance is very small. You just go right over. It's like this machine's overlock. I'm gonna hold on to that thread again. Get it started. Kind of hold it back so it knots itself. It sews over itself. Going, have that little bit of curve coming up. Keep the 2 layers evenly together, and right here, there's that stitch. I'm going to maybe hold on to it again. Let it kind of stop the fabric from moving, and it sews. I don't even have to reverse it. Much nicer. You can see, ooh, controlled the fabric. And then clip that, and that. There's your cuzi. So simple. Now I have my little notch right here, so then I'll put it on the glass down that way so I know which way is up top and bottom, because there's like a little, you can see the little peak right here. That's what helps cup that glass. All right, now put this on the glass. I just put the glass face down, and I'm going to turn this in right side out. Make sure my little notches are up here. It's a nice snug fit, because you don't want to be carrying this and it fall off, right? And then you have to cut your boa. This is the worst part. This thing shreds all over the place. You want a 10-inch boa. I'll cut it right here, and oh my gosh, it all gets all over the place. Get that ready to go. Oof. And then get your vacuum cleaner out. Then you're going to use a hot glue and just go around in a segment. I usually do about a third or a quarter of it, and then place your boa right on the edge. Be careful not to touch the glue, obviously, because that hurts really bad. So just do little sections. And go do another section. You don't want this to dry on you. And then it stays on really well. Just go around it. Go around. And it doesn't even get on the glass, although I did have a few glasses that had glue on it because we were like a production line here. Just get that last part, get a little extra glue at that intersection here, and then put it on there. Stays on there. I love this boa. It's so cute. Get it on there. There's the boa. So cute. Right there. Now you have to put some bling on it. Lift this off, let it dry. So it comes this way. And there we go. All done. A little bit more drying time. Now I'm going to put I'm going to iron on this guy right here. So I made it with the rhinestone genie. You can do these before you do the bows, especially if you have a hairy boa like this, because it's going to just make it a little harder to iron. Put that on there. I'm going to go get my iron, and then I'm going to iron that on. Put this little guy on the end of a sleeve board. Blow the boa's feathers that way. Put the little curly cues go up. Make sure it's in the center. Place it on there. And then, my iron's beeping. Make sure all those little boas stay out of there. You iron it on. Like that. Sticks really good to the neoprene. Stay there. And I just lift off that, and voila! Boa's done. Now I could be at a party and my wine matches my scarf. These are too fun to make. Let me know if you're gonna make some. If you have any other ideas for me, give me a comment below. If you had fun learning about this one, give me a thumbs up. And also, I'll add the coupon and the template in the link below so that you can save hours of time not trying to figure out the exact sizes. That's for these little wine glasses. If you go a little bit bigger, just add like a 1/4 inch on each side, and that should do it too. So, let me know how it goes, and I'll see you in the next sewing video.